If you have ever logged into a public Wi-Fi network, such as an airport, coffee shop, library, cruise ship, hotel, etc., then you have probably seen a captive portal page. This is where you will be asked to agree to the terms and conditions before accessing the internet, and it's common at airports and libraries. Other captive portal pages from a hotel or cruise ship may ask you for your room number and your name or other identifiers to ensure that you are a registered guest. This is straightforward enough if you use your phone or computer to log into that network. But this may not be as straightforward if you are using a travel router. One main advantage of using a travel router is that if you have multiple devices that you want to connect to the internet, you only have to configure the travel router once to connect to the network, and that's it. All of your other devices you can connect to the travel router, and then they will continue to work every time that you are at a new location. Other advantages for using a travel router is that if you want to use the additional security features such as a virtual private network or some kind of a MAC address cloning or randomization, a lot of folks get confused by this extra step of getting the travel router to work with the captive portal, so that's what I'm going to do in this video, is to explain how this works. Most travel routers function in similar ways for the basic setup, and I'm going to use the TP-Link AC750 in this demonstration. Step 1, we're going to turn on the router and connect to it. So to turn on the TP-Link router, you got to just plug in the micro USB cable. There is no power button, and once powered, you will see the lights blinking. Wait for about 30 seconds or so until all the lights are on. So now we need to connect to the router using either your computer or phone or tablet. In this video, I'm going to use my computer because it's easier to see in this video, but using the phone will accomplish the same task. The way you do that is that you have to choose the network created by the router, and the name of the network by default is printed on the back of the router. So in my case, it's TP-Link-450F or TP-Link-450F_5G for the 5G network. And I'm going to go ahead and select that 5G network because it's theoretically faster. And then I will be prompted for the password, which again by default is printed on the back of the router. Step 2, we need to configure the router to connect to the ship's Wi-Fi. The way to do that is to go to the URL or IP address printed on the back of the router. So I'm going to go ahead and type in tplinkwifi.net, and then I will be greeted by the TP-Link login page. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the password, which is by default printed on the back of the router. But note that this is a different password than the connection to the Wi-Fi. Now we see the status page, which shows us the local area network's MAC address, their IP addresses, etc. What we want to do is click on the quick setup on the left menus over here. The first question we are asked is the WAN connection type. I find it best to leave it as the default of dynamic IP, as that is what most public Wi-Fi access points is programmed to do. Next, we will see the router scan the airways to the list of access points or APs. In my case, because I'm on a Princess cruise ship, I will see the Medallion Net networks. Notice there are a few of those, as there are ones on the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum and then ones on the 5 gigahertz frequencies. I find that the strongest signal works better than choosing between 2.5 and 5 gigs. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select this signal right here because it's quite strong. Then we are shown the page where you can customize the names of the networks from the router and its associated password. Note that the Wi-Fi password could be different than the admin password to access the router configuration. And if you don't want security at all, you can disable wireless security. I don't recommend that because otherwise people can spy on what you're doing. So go ahead and hit next, and then you can review the settings before you hit finish. Step 3, signing in the captive portal and getting internet access. Now that the router is configured to connect to the ship's Wi-Fi, we can try to get on the internet. All right, so go ahead and open a new browser window and go to any site. I'm just going to go to tplink.com to get more info on this particular router. You will be redirected to the captive portal page of the ship, which in the case of a Princess ship, you will be asked for the stateroom number and your date of birth. So once again, note that you absolutely need to buy a Medallion Net account. Using a travel router does not get you free internet. If you're on a different cruise ship, you should be able to enter the information requested and then continue. After entering the requested info, you can hit connect and you'll be connected to the internet. Now we can type the URL of tplink.com again and actually get that website. And now, for all your other devices, you just need to connect to the travel router's Wi-Fi network, which in my case is named TP-Link 450F for the 2.4 gigahertz, and then TP-Link 450F_5G for the 5 gigahertz. Note, I am not hacking the ship's network. I paid for an account. I'm using the router because that's my standard practice when I connect to a public Wi-Fi. That way I can turn on the VPN and have secure connections. Now that we're connected to the internet, let's see how fast the connection is. So what I see is about 7.8 megabits per second download and 1.95 megabits upload. That's not great, but definitely an improvement over the last ship I was on, where I was only getting 1 to 2 megabits a second download speed. So I'm going to do the speed test again, but this time I'm going to be turning on my VPN. And what I get is about 7.5 megabits per second download and 1.67 megabits per second upload. So not much of a degradation for using VPN. And I'm going to go ahead and do the speed test one more time, but this time on my phone, which is also connected to the travel router. And looks like I am still getting around 7.4 megabits per second download speed. So not too bad. This video used a TP-Link router on a Princess cruise ship to demonstrate connecting to the internet via a captive portal. I also used the GL-iNet Mango on the same ship, so I know that works too. I have used travel routers at hotels, airports, and also on flights, which all require going through a captive portal. The steps to remember are: 1. Use your phone or computer to connect to the router. 2. Configure the router to connect to the desired network. 3. Sign in to the captive portal page with a router, so this clears the path for other devices to access the internet. And 4. Connect other devices to the travel router to use the internet. For a video on using cell service with an eSIM instead of using Wi-Fi, watch this video here. For more travel videos, make sure you click on the blue monkey to subscribe. Safe travels and make it memorable.